The Napoleonic Wars, Europe's wild ride with a Corsican superstar. Can one short guy really stir up an entire continent? Buckle up, folks, because the Napoleonic Wars from 1803 to 1815 were Europe's version of a roller coaster ride, full of ambition, explosions, and a lot of questionable fashion choices. At the center of this whirlwind was Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who rocketed from a nobody Corsican artillery officer to Emperor of the French, proving that sometimes, it really is about the size of your ambition. Napoleon's climb to power during the French Revolution turned the continent into his personal playground of strategic brilliance and a whole lot of cannon fire. His wars weren't just about grabbing land, they were an epic smackdown between the revolutionary vibes of France and the stiff old-school monarchies of Europe. Dive into the drama as we dissect the causes, the battles, and the chaos that shaped Europe's destiny and left an unforgettable mark on the 19th century and beyond. From the plains of Austerlitz to the frosty fields of Russia, and the mud-splattered ground of Waterloo, the Napoleonic Wars are the blockbuster saga you didn't know you needed. France, fresh off the French Revolution, was like a teenager with newfound freedom, unpredictable and prone to starting fights. The revolution toppled the old regime, pushing forward ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, which sounded great unless you were a European monarch. Enter Napoleon, the ambitious Corsican with a knack for turning chaos into opportunity. In 1799, amidst the chaos of the French Directory, Napoleon staged a coup d'état, becoming first consul of France. This was the start of his audacious quest for power, blending revolutionary fervor with a hefty dose of authoritarian rule. Europe, hold on to your crowns, because Napoleon was about to kick things into high gear. Napoleon's hit list, major battles and campaigns. Battle of Marengo, 1800. Picture Napoleon, flexing his strategic muscles like a chess grandmaster, against the Austrians in Italy. This battle was more of a clobberfest, where Napoleon turned the Austrian army into his personal piñata. By the end of it, he secured his reputation as a military whiz, making northern Italy his new playground. Italy's new status? Napoleon's backyard. Battle of Austerlitz, 1805. The art of the smackdown. Ah, Austerlitz. Napoleon's piece de resistance. He tricked the Austrians and Russians into a trap, like luring a cat with a laser pointer, then demolished them with precision. The Holy Roman Empire? It dissolved faster than a sugar cube in hot coffee, leaving everyone wondering if it ever existed at all. Napoleonic Magic 101, disappear your enemies with style. Invasion of Russia, 1812. The frozen fiasco. Napoleon had a bright idea, invade Russia. Genius, right? Spoiler alert, not so much. The Russian winter teamed up with scorched earth tactics to create a deadly combo, leaving his Grande Armée freezing and starving. It was less of a campaign and more of a giant, frosty faceplant. Lesson learned, always check the weather forecast before invading a country. Battle of Leipzig, 1813. The mega beatdown. The Battle of Nations was like Europe's version of a neighborhood brawl. Napoleon faced a coalition that decided enough was enough. It was a massive beatdown that forced him into a retreat faster than you can say, surrender. The coalition gave him such a thrashing, it was like watching a heavyweight champion get KO'd by a bunch of underdogs. Battle of Waterloo, 1815. The final curtain. Waterloo, Napoleon's last hurrah. Despite a valiant effort and some classic Napoleonic flair, he was outmaneuvered by the Duke of Wellington and the Prussian forces. It was like watching the final season of a once great TV show, you hoped for a twist ending, but it was curtains for Napoleon. This epic defeat marked the end of his rule and his dreams of European domination, proving that even the greatest generals can have a really bad day at the office. The aftermath, Europe tries to make sense of the chaos. Congress of Vienna, 1814 to 1815. The ultimate European rehab. After Napoleon's whirlwind tour of Europe, the continent was left in shambles, like a rock star's trashed hotel room. So, the bigwigs of Europe gathered in Vienna for the ultimate cleanup operation. Led by Prince Clemens von Metternich, they aimed to restore order by playing musical chairs with monarchs, putting them back on their thrones, and drawing new borders like overzealous kids with a new box of crayons. It was a royal game of who belongs where, with lots of diplomatic arm wrestling and awkward toasts. Economic and social upheaval, Europe's post-war hangover. Napoleon didn't just mess with armies, he turned Europe's economy into his personal jungle gym. Trade routes disrupted. Agriculture trampled. Industry. Well, good luck with that. His continental system was supposed to choke Britain's economy, but instead, it caused food shortages and inflation that spread like wildfire. Imagine trying to do your weekly shopping, only to find out bread now costs as much as a small chateau. People were cranky, hungry, and ready to revolt, revolutionary ideas were the new viral trend. Military innovation, Napoleon's War 2.0. Napoleon was the Steve Jobs of warfare, revolutionizing how battles were fought. Forget the old line up and shoot method, he was all about rapid movement, coordinated attacks, and conscription. His Grande Armée was a full society effort, turning everyday folks into soldiers and mobilizing resources like never before. It was as if he turned war into a nationwide sport, with everyone playing a part. And let's be honest, his enemies were left scratching their heads, wondering if they'd accidentally signed up for the wrong game. Legacy of a Corsican meteor. Napoleon's influence on nationalism, the accidental gardener. Napoleon, without meaning to, was like a clumsy gardener who dropped seeds of nationalism everywhere he went. As he pranced around Europe, his conquests accidentally inspired oppressed peoples to seek independence and unity. Places like Germany and Italy, which used to be more fragmented than a toddler's jigsaw puzzle, started dreaming of unification. By the 19th century, these dreams grew into movements, turning the continent into a giant game of who wants to be a nation. Redrawing borders, Vienna's Arts and Crafts Session. The Congress of Vienna was Europe's attempt at an arts and crafts session to fix the mess Napoleon left behind. With rulers acting like eager school kids with a new set of maps and colored pencils, they redrew the borders to balance power and ensure no more Napoleonic surprises. But nationalist movements and liberal ideas were like glitter, no matter how much you try to clean it up, it just keeps popping up. Despite their best efforts, the continent's political landscape remained as volatile as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Napoleonic Code, the legal superglue. One of Napoleon's most lasting legacies was the Napoleonic Code, his legal framework that was like a mix of superglue and WD-40 for society. Promoting civil liberties and legal equality, this code influenced legal systems worldwide, making sure people had a fair shake whether they were in Paris or Peru. It showed that Napoleon's impact extended beyond the battlefield, like a magician who left behind a trick everyone wanted to learn. So, while he might have been a nightmare on the battlefield, in the courtroom, Napoleon was a dream come true for legal reform. Europe's epic drama. The Napoleonic Wars were a wild, unpredictable, and explosive saga, bridging the gap between the early modern era and the modern age. Napoleon's ambitious conquests reshaped political alliances, redrew borders, and ignited nationalist fires. Despite his fall, the echoes of his impact on sovereignty, legal reform, and military strategy continue to resonate through history. So, next time you think one person can't change the world, remember Napoleon, the Corsican dynamo who turned Europe upside down. He left a legacy that still shapes our world today, reminding us that even a single, ambitious individual can leave an indelible mark on history. As we look back, it's hard not to feel a touch of nostalgia for the days when Europe's fate rested in the hands of one man, for better or worse.